Good afternoon. It's August the 24th, and I just got back from vacation last night, and I came out here and I started devouring as many figs as I could. I think this is Sultane, by the way, which is a variety that I filmed a couple times, not much. It's kind of buried away in my other videos last year, but it's a variety that I just really recommend. It's a great variety. Sultane, a French fig. And last night, I just stood out here and gobbled down, I don't know, at least a dozen from this tree. It's a very tasty fig. And this is not what this whole video is about. It's going to be about, for those watching, hang on if you're interested in knowing the difference between long yellow and yellow long neck and golden rainbow, because that's my next video. I recently made a video about yellow long neck being the same, in my opinion, as golden rainbow. Let me grab a bite of this, please. I love these things. Sultane has a unique flavor, and it just does so well. It's very fruitful, very prolific, and very delicious, and very well adapted to this environment, living in New Jersey as I do. I'm going to move on. I was saying about recently making a video about yellow long neck being the same, in my opinion, as golden rainbow. Well, there's confusion out there also about another variety called long yellow, and many people think that it's the same as yellow long neck or golden rainbow, and it is not. And they think that way because there's literature and there's people commenting here and there, but they don't have it in their collection, or they would know it's quite different. So I want to talk about it today, and I want to show the differences so that you know that long yellow, which is a variety that I received as a gift from my friend Vito up in New York. He had some difficulty last year and he lost a lot of his figs. They died over the wintertime in storage for one mysterious reason or another. And so I sent him a bunch of cuttings to try and help him get some variety started up again. And he gifted me this. It was just a baby when I got it in the spring. So that's something interesting to talk about too, because he had started it from a cutting in this spring, 2020. And I've grown it, and there it is. I've been pinching the top of it so that it will retard the growth. But hold on a second. But I've been feeding it a formula to get it to fruit sooner and get it to fruit more plentifully, because I was just so curious about this variety. This variety, look at the leaves. Look at them. They're very different. This is not yellow long neck. It is not golden rainbow. It is not golden Riverside, Ben's golden Riverside, or the real golden Riverside, which is at the University of California, 278, 178. That golden Riverside is a different variety, and I showed you that the other day in my video. It was all split. It's completely different than the rest. But because it has the real name Golden Riverside, it gets confused, gets lumped in. This long yellow, because you hear about yellow long neck, you know, the names are so similar. People get all confused, and it is a honey fig, as they all are honey figs, so the 4 that I just mentioned. Now, Golden Riverside Bends, we talked many times. You know, it is Golden Rainbow, in my opinion. But today's video, the intent of it, is to clarify that Long Yellow is an extraordinarily different fig. And I mean extraordinary. Now, I'm going to go into this in more detail, because I have some more information about this fig that I want to release, because I'm highly impressed with this. And it takes a long time for me to be highly impressed with a fig variety, honestly. I've only taken on 2 varieties this year, and this is one of them, because I'm not searching for new varieties. But this one is so unique that, indeed, I wanted it in my collection, and so when my friend Vito gifted it to me, well, I was very happy. Thank you, Vito. Vito, by the way, is an extraordinary figster. He's an incredible gentleman. I love him dearly. He's a great man. He's a generous man. He's friendly. He's warm, and he's very knowledgeable. And he's able to get this tree to come to fruition in Zone 4 in upstate New York. Think about that. He certainly has a green thumb. And he's magnificent in his ability to grow vegetables. I've seen some pictures of his cucumbers and things. He is just a grower. He's a great grower and a great man, a true gentleman. And this was just a little tiny baby when I grew it, just a few months ago when I received it. And now you can see it wants to go. It wants to go. And I've been giving a lot of my formula to it, and I've been giving it composted tea and all the things that you will find in another video of mine, if you want to look at that video. And that video is, why are my fig trees so productive, early, and tasty? And there's a second part to that video, which is Fig Magic Tea Anyone, which talks about composted tea. And you might want to look at those videos. And there's other videos that you might want to look at that are related to these other varieties, the yellow long neck, golden rainbow, so on and so forth. You might want to look at Fig Feast, which is specifically about that, and Beauty and the Beast. You might want to look at that video. I'm going to jump from here, but let me. I'm going to go over to the yellow long neck. But look at the stem. I've got to get you. Look at the difference. You see how this is all one stem. I hope I can have it in the video. It's all one stem. Okay, it's long, and then it just develops into the fig itself, which is not as big, as far as I can tell so far, as yellow long neck, but pretty big, but nowhere near as big. I don't think it's going to be, because this one's already swelling. Of course, you can't tell always by first year figs, but I've grown many first year figs, and I've grown yellow long neck, many times in the past, and I know that the first figs are huge. Okay, so these do not resemble yellow long neck. They do not. And these leaves do not. And these are the dominant pattern. Look at it. See? These spade shaped leaves are pretty much the dominant leaf pattern on this tree. There's a lot of them. But the stem tells all. If you look at the stem, look at that. Look how long that is, and how there's no bump or anything between the stem and the fig. There is absolutely, and looking at the characteristics, the way this tree grows, compared to the yellow long neck, there is no doubt in my mind. And I wish that this was a little further along so that I could actually eat one and video it for you. But I am absolutely convinced that these are not the same. That long yellow is not the same as yellow longneck. And yellow longneck takes a little longer to grow, to actually come to fruition. And if indeed, and I know it is true, that my friend Vito can get this tree to grow and mature figs in zone 4 in upstate New York, that's telling me that it's not yellow longneck also, because yellow longneck takes long to mature. I mean, it's not real late. You could call it a mid-season maybe, but in most people's experience, certainly in the Northeast, it is a little later. But you can just see, just by looking at this fig and the tree and its pattern and the leaves, the leaf pattern and the growth pattern, you can just tell that this is not the same as yellow longneck. Now, since I'm making this video, I don't want to really talk about a lot of other things, but I have a lot of figs. Last night I was eating figs, and I'm saying to myself, what am I doing eating figs? I should be making a video and showing them, but this is my black Madera, and it's, I think, a beautiful specimen. You can judge for yourself. Now you can see this specimen in one of my videos that I made in June of last year. Okay, and it was just a small tree, just a year ago. And it's about my variety, my figs and my varieties. And this tree has grown very, very vigorously since then. You could see it just a year ago. It was just a baby cutting the year before. And so this is really its third year and its second full year of growth, you might say, because the first year really hardly counts. But it was even a small tree last year. But look how vibrant it is, and look how beautiful and healthy, and it's loaded with fruit. Look at that. Okay, it's just loaded, and it's fruiting, and it's August the 28th. Last year, I think it fruited a little earlier. I was a little later this year, but I mean, I don't like that one. But what I wanted to tell you about this is completely ripe, this black Madera. Here's another one right there. If you can see it, I got a little glare on my phone. Let's pick that. Let's open this one up. There we go. There. How beautiful. Black Madera. I've eaten 2 of these already. Wow. You know, wow. Black Madera. I just so highly recommend it. It's a bit later. Oh, that was so good. Truly, let me convince you to get this in your collection. And as I said in my other videos, if you want to look at some other videos where I go into black Madera very, very in depth, there's a video called Madera. Basically, an in-depth discussion is the name of that one. And there's one called Abracadabra Figs. There's the Fig Connoisseur. There is one called Most Valuable Players. There's several that I really go into detail about black Madera, because it's just a fig tree that I have to recommend strongly. And I'd like you to listen to some of those discussions about it, because I go into detail about this fig. You can grow it in the Northeast. I'm in 7A. You can grow it. You can see that. Every single one of my figs came to fruition last year early. All of these will. I'll eat them all. And I will enjoy every single one of them. Look at this thing. Now, don't confuse that fig over here. This one over here is belonging to this tree. This is Ronde Bordeaux. Different fig altogether. There we go. I'm gonna eat that one too, though. But this is Black Madera. It's larger than Ronde Bordeaux, and it's better in taste for sure, richer. It's not as valuable, I don't think, in my collection because it is a later fig, but it's very, 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 very valuable. From a practical standpoint, Ronde Bordeaux is one of my top figs. But I love Black Madera. I don't want to discourage you in the slightest. Get Black Madera. You can make it ripen. I do too. And Italian 258. Look at them. I've been eating them. All right? Black Madera. Italian 258. Two of the very best. Let's pick this one here. Hold on a second. Let me get that off. Italian 258. Wonderful. Wonderful. Wow. Okay. But you can see this in my videos that I mentioned. And there are many other videos too. And I don't want to remake the videos of the same material. I would like you to go back and look at some of my videos because I took my time to make them. I was careful and I put in as much information for you as I possibly could for your use. Let me grab a bite of this. Oh my God, so rich. It's such a superior variety. Oh. I'm going to save those two for my wife. Wow. That is so good. If you look at the Fig Connoisseur, where I actually, and I rarely do this, but I pit Black Madera against Italian 258. Just for fun. It was a tie. I'll tell you. All right, so it was a spoiler there, but you will enjoy it. And my little doggie, he was the fig. She was the Fig Connoisseur. So there's another spoiler. And she agreed with me that they were a tie that day. Very often figs are compared in certain videos where one is not at its peak. It's hard to do that. You know, the time a video where you have several varieties that are in their absolute peak in terms of quality. And so it's a little misleading sometimes. But that particular day, they were both perfect. And it was a tie. Let's leave it that way. So I leave out a lot of controversy. Look at this one dripping down. This is my Smith. It's another of my Smiths. I have several Smiths. And I did propagate more than one of these because I am just so impressed with Smith. Here's another Smith. And I have a much larger one, which you saw in videos last year and you saw in videos this year in the ground, which is just loaded with fruit. And I've been eating them for a long time. Here's one that's a little bit over-ripened, but I don't think it's in any way spoiled. So my son has the best job in the world when I'm gone. My son is able to to eat all of these figs every day when he comes to water my figs. And it's been raining so much, it's been a little easier for him because I told him just to leave the figs in the greenhouse. I've given up. It's just too much shuffling back and forth. It rained again last night. It's the 24th of August. Last night, it rained again. I got home from vacation yesterday and it just started to rain. It's just so disappointing. But my son, look at that. You know what? I ought to just save this whole thing. for my wife. She loves these figs too. I guess all around, I guess my wife's favorite, she loves Ronde Bordeaux because it's so practical and it just produces so many fruits. And it's early, but the quality of Smith is richer, and the quality of Italian 258, though maybe not as practical as Ronde Bordeaux. Look how fruitful it is. Look at the abundance of figs on my Italian 258. Look at this. And they're all get ripe and they're all delicious. So, you know, we're always eagerly anticipating figs, and Ronde Bordeaux always comes in first. It came in first last year, the 4th of July. On the 4th of July was my first main crop fig, Ronde Bordeaux. This year it was 10 days later or so, because it was a very cold spring. It's a long story, and I was away on vacation, and I didn't start shuffling as early as I normally do. But this is a practical fig to me. Italian 258, it's just later, that's all. And my wife does love the taste of these as well, as she does Black Madera. These are 4 varieties that I would never separate from. Italian 258, Black Madera, Ronde Bordeaux, and Smith, especially for container growing. Now, they're not practical for growing in ground, but for growing in containers, they're tops. You know, well, guess what? There's another one back here. Look at that. I'm gonna have to pick that one too. Another Smith. This one's cracking just a little. As I said, it rained. This is close to the windows, which are all open. So the rain just comes in and comes through the hatches. I have all the hatches open for the summer, and the rain just comes right on in, and the wind blows through. But I don't get any diseases, and I don't get any sour flies. I don't get any of that stuff. I don't get any rust. My figs are healthy, and I feed them very well. And I don't keep them in here very much if I can avoid it. Lately, I'm just giving up. I'm just leaving them here for another few days. I'm so tired of the rain. It just never stops. So we'll take a quick walk over here. There's all kinds of varieties in here, but this is one that I like talking about. Look at that. Oh gosh, I'm impressed with that. Look at that. This is Battaglia green, and look at these little rascal ants. And so I was away for a few days, so I put a little bit of this. Oh yeah, I might as well put it in the video. Hold on a second. I use this, and I don't have any ants on anything but that one tree back there. I use this, and you just take some tinfoil or any kind of material that is non-porous, and you put some drops of this on it, and they go right to it. They love it. It's mostly borax. It's not real toxic to humans, and it does a good job, especially when you stick to it. Let me show you. There we go. That's what it does. And they take it back to the nest with them, and it kills the nest. So here's some I put down here to attract the ants. You see it? And they're coming there. They fill their little bellies, then they go back to the nest. And eventually they contaminate the nest. Well, let's get back to this Adriatic fig, which has been ripening for about, I don't know, 8 or 9, 10 days. This one's a little cracked. Let's open it up. This is a delicious fig. The Adriatics are delicious. That won't affect the taste at all. Look at that. Battaglia green. It's like a Shea green. JH Adriatic. It's better, I think. Oh wow, that was a good one. Wow. That's really good. These are good. This classification of figs, the Adriatics, as I have said before, and I will be redundant because I want to make my point. for all of you out there that are listening. The Adriatic group of figs, the classification of figs that we refer to as Adriacs, which are green on the outside and beautifully red on the inside. Okay. Wow. Are known for their exquisite flavor. They're a little late, a little later than a lot of other varieties. Look at that beautiful fig. Wow. I'm going to save this one. I'll open it up for you guys. Here we go. Whoa, glisteningly beautiful. Look at that. Just beautiful. I'll put it here for now. Save it for Debbie. There's some more in here. Here's another beautiful fig. But the rain comes right on through. There's Rondi Bordeaux out there. It's been out there all summer. It's loaded with fruit. I've been eating so many. My son's been gobbling down. Oh yeah, I was talking about my son's best job in the world. When I'm away, he just comes and waters the figs and he helps himself to all of these delicious figs. Isn't that a great job? There's a little one. Look at that. Open that one up. Beauty. Guess where this one's going to go? Right here. Wow. Delicious. I can't explain. It's impossible to explain this. It has a tangy taste. My strawberry verte, which is also an Adriatic, which my uncle gave me, he brought from Italy some 80 years ago or so. I still have it in my collection. I have it growing in Virginia right now. I actually planted it there in the ground. One of the most exquisite tasting figs I think I've ever eaten in my life. But it's a little late, and in New Jersey, where I had it growing, I ate figs, but there were not a lot of figs that would get ripe. And very often, depending on the bad weather that we get, it would be very disappointing. So I planted it in Virginia. Now for container growing, it's fantastic. Strawberry verte is just really good. If indeed it is strawberry verte, I named it that. I don't know what it is. My uncle brought it from Italy, and I've kept it in the family for half a century, more than that. Okay, so let's get back to the original subject, which was long yellow. You can see, now we're going to take a quick walk. Now look at it closely. That's long yellow. This is long yellow. Okay, now we're going to take a walk, and we're going to go visit Golden Rainbow very quickly, which in my opinion is none other than yellow longneck. And again, I've stated before in other videos, I have a long history with the yellow longneck. But let's get inside this net. Hold on a second. I apologize for all the movement here, but you can see that that is not the same fig, not even close to long yellow. And the last fig video that I made, which was about yellow longneck versus, this is Golden Rainbow, by the way. But you can see that this is not the same. It's not the same. You see how long the stem is shorter, and then this part of the fig is longer on yellow longneck, but the stem is shorter. The stem is much longer on long yellow. And the fig is not shaped exactly the same. It's not as big. It's not the same. We're walking quickly. This is such a disappointment. All this rain. I showed this in the last video. This is Golden Riverside, UCD, University of California, Davis, which is the true Golden Riverside. Don't get it confused with the others. It's not Golden Rainbow. I already said that in the other video, so don't get it confused. But it splits too, much worse than any of the other varieties that we're talking about today. For growing in ground, not recommended. Don't waste your time. Not in New Jersey or any of, I think, the northeastern states. It would be a disaster for you. This is growing in the ground. It's growing in my grow bag. But I've got experience with this tree, and it's interesting, but I would not recommend it. So don't grow it in the ground. In a container, well, I've had it in a container. Last year, it produced pretty good. I can't talk about all these different varieties, but I can gobble them up. This is Holy Air. Man, that was a good one. Very rich. That's an LSU fig. Even with the rain, this one's very good. Of course, the rain diminishes the quality of all figs. Good. Very good. That's a keeper. This is red Lebanese. And I gobbled 4 or 5 of them last night when I made my rounds. And they're cracking also, but not real bad. But I've had so much rain. This fig here is practically, look at that. Ants on it, cracking. What a year. But still, this one's not, the ones I ate last night were delicious. And that, you can tell just by looking at it. That's a good one. Yeah, it's not spoiled in any way. Not yet. Another ant. Good. Now here's yellow long neck. And again, you can see that it's not long yellow. It's not even close. Take a close look. And you can see the little bit of color from the moist. I noticed that when it's moist, when it's rainy, I noticed that, and probably in other climates around the country, it stays more yellow. Yellow long neck stays more yellow in drier climates, or when the conditions are even drier. And when it's a little bit more moist, it starts to turn a little bit, just a little bit of color when it really gets ripe. Yellow long neck. Not long yellow. Okay, this video is much longer